You're about to uncover the secrets to a thriving plum orchard. Look, if you want to protect your trees and maximize your yield, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the world of defending your plum trees against their most notorious enemies, the devastating plum fruit moth and its partner in crime, the plum fruit sawfly. By the end of this explainer, you'll have everything you need to transform your garden's yield, stop this ultimate orchard heist, and ensure your fruit blossoms actually make it to harvest. Okay, let's quickly run through our agenda. First, we'll meet the orchard enemies. 2, spotting an infestation early. 3, your pest control arsenal. 4, a proactive defense strategy. And finally, 5, securing your future harvest. Before we get into the tactics, we really need to understand the stakes here. And honestly, they're pretty shocking. If left unchecked, these tiny pests can cause catastrophic economic losses. We're talking anywhere from 80% to a staggering 100% of your harvest completely wiped out. That's nearly every single plum ruined before it even has a chance to ripen. Section 1. Meet the orchard enemies, the dual threat. So, who exactly is trying to steal your harvest? Well, it's a 1-2 punch. First up is the plum fruit sawfly. This is your early striker. It attacks the blossoms way before the fruit even forms, leaving behind this distinct, genuinely bug-smelling insect waste, which is called frass. It's gross, sure, but absolutely crucial to identify. Then you have the later striker, the notorious plum fruit moth. The moth larvae actually burrow right into the swelling fruit. If you notice premature coloring, a tiny hole, and a clear drop of resin weeping out of the plum, you found the unmistakable signature of the moth. And please, do not underestimate the sheer damage these guys can do. Just one single sawfly larva can destroy up to 5 plum fruits all on its own. It burrows into one, eats out the inside of the soft pit, and then just moves right on to the next. It leaves this sad trail of ruined, dropping fruit before it finally migrates down into the soil to spend the winter. Section 2. Spotting an infestation early. The investigation. Early detection is everything when it comes to orchard security. You'll want to hang 20 by 25 centimeter sticky traps directly in your trees. Then, during the bud phase, you need to get out there early in the morning. The insects are super sluggish from the cold at that time, so you can literally shake the branches over a white sheet. The data tells us that if an average of 2 to 3 wasps fall from a single shaken tree, you've officially crossed the economic threshold. That means an infestation is imminent. Finally, inspect the flowers closely for irregular brown spots. Those are the tiny egg pockets they leave behind. But wait, here is a crucial detail regarding those sticky traps. Are you actually using the right color? The agricultural data is very, very specific here. Yellow traps, which we see all the time in gardening, are simply not selective enough for the sawfly. You'll just catch way too many random insects. And what about pheromone traps? Well, those are formulated specifically to attract the moths much later in the season. For the early striking sawfly, non-drying white sticky traps are absolutely essential for getting accurate monitoring. Section 3. Your pest control arsenal. The armory. Let's start with cultural and biological controls, which is fantastic news if you're an organic gardener. Good garden hygiene is paramount here. Just by plowing the soil 5 to 25 centimeters deep in the autumn and spring, you physically destroy those wintering sawfly larvae hiding in the ground. You also have to rigorously remove any dropped infested fruits. On the biological side, research points to neemazole to literally block the larva from feeding and molting. There are also natural pyrethrins for contact control and biostimulants containing magnesium and zinc. Those actually toughen up the plant's cuticle, making it way harder for pests to bite through. Now, if you opt for modern, synthetic chemical controls, the precision you get is incredible. Options like Desis 100EC and Sumi Alpha 5EC provide really rapid knockdown effects. But the real standout in the research is Norel-Dursban, and that's because of its unique gas phase action. Why does that matter to you? Well, if a larva has already bitten into the fruit and is hiding deep inside, standard contact sprays just won't reach it. But the gas phase literally penetrates the fruit cavity, eliminating the pest even after it's breached your initial defenses. Section 4. A proactive defense strategy, the battle plan. Let's see how all this builds into a complete year-round timeline. In winter, you plow the soil to disrupt those hibernating pests. When the tree reaches what we call the white button phase, that's when the flower petals are visible but still closed, you apply your first spray to target adult sawflies before they can even lay eggs. At the end of blossom, you spray again to catch any newly hatched larvae. Then, as we roll into May, your focus shifts over to the plum fruit moth, targeting their first generation right as the fruit swells. Finally, in July, you strike against the second generation of the moth, which, trust me, is usually the most destructive to your near-ripe fruit. But hold on, there is a strict, golden rule in agriculture that we must highlight here. During that end of blossom phase, you have to wait until at least 2/3 of the petals have withered and fallen off before you spray. Furthermore, you should only ever apply treatments in the early morning or late evening. This is absolutely critical to protect bees and our other essential pollinators, because without them, you're not going to have a plum harvest to protect in the first place.
Section 5. Securing your future harvest. The schedule.
To give you a real-life example of what success looks like, here is exactly how a professional precision treatment schedule breaks down. At the white button phase, you target the softfly adults with a 0.05% dose of decease. Once the fruit grows to about the size of a hazelnut, your target shifts to the first-generation moth, using an option like coragen. Then, in July, you hit the second-gen moth. By keeping records of this data year over year, you can track infestation patterns. That is exactly how you win the long game. As Professor Radoslav Andreev so wisely points out in the agricultural literature, true optimization requires moving away from simply guessing dates on a calendar. A modern, successful orchard defender relies on real-time data, threshold treatments, and dedicated flight monitoring using those sticky traps we talked about. You have to let the insects tell you exactly when it's time to strike. The battle for your plum trees is always won through ongoing maintenance and timely vigilance. So, are you going to wait around for a ruined green fruit to drop? Or will you monitor your traps and stop this orchard heist before it even begins? The choice is yours. Oh, and one last thing before we go. This explainer is intended for educational purposes only. Always consult with agricultural experts or your local pest control authorities before applying any of the chemical control methods we've discussed today. Results can definitely vary based on your location, your climate, and your specific garden conditions. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy growing!